All right. So, can you turn the lights on, please? We'll put the light on. Thank you. All right. So, let's get the rules right, okay? We know we go to the bathroom. We know we brush our teeth before we go to bed. Everybody hits the bathroom usually before they go to bed, unless they're totally exhausted or they're totally depressed. When you're depressed, you do nothing good for yourself. You just go straight to bed. When you're excited about life, you do brush your teeth. You do go to the bathroom. You do wash your face. You do things to prepare for a good night's sleep. Depressed people do not do this. So there could be one sign of depression, and there is no such thing as depression, but I'll swing back to that in a second. So when you go to brush your teeth, you go to wash your face, you go to get ready for bed, you go to the bathroom. The last thing you do is you do the BraveHeart oath. That BraveHeart oath is right in front of you. And you say that 10 times, and every time you say it with all the love in your heart. And you say it out loud and you say it proud. Now guess what? How many of you are married or live with someone? Yeah, okay. So the ones here that live in a really crappy, the ones here, one second. Okay, did we block this one too? Were they all on? Okay, one second. Okay, those of you that put up your hand that you live with someone, right? Those of you that will not go in the bathroom and do the BraveHeart oath out loud 10 times with all your heart because of your partner, we know that you're controlled by your partner. We know that you don't have self-care and self-love. And no, you can believe this. 8 out of 10 couples, the person will not say it out loud. They will hide it from their partner. So don't go like, oh, well, that sounds weird. No, let me tell you, most marriages and most relationships suck. And they suck the life out of you. But you think it's as good as they get, because I'm telling you right now, you can take this to the bank. Until you unconditionally love yourself first and foremost, you can't do that for your partner. And if you did, you wouldn't be sitting in judgment of your partner. And anybody who's looking for their partner to fill up their heart, which is 99% of all relationships, is always in judgment. Do I give you more than you give me? Yes or no?
Yes.
Don't tell me no. I already know it. Every person in here is guilty of that until you have unconditional love for yourself, because you will not sit in judgment of your family anymore or your friends. You won't do it. And that's why we run around trying to fix people. Right, Lorraine? Because Lorraine hasn't found out yet how to unconditionally love herself. Because if she did, she wouldn't be thinking that she's responsible for fixing her family that's not broken, because that's just their personality, that's their reality, and they may never change it. So she's refusing to unconditionally love herself. Listen, she's a master trainer. She's on the burner. You think you're going to go out and train people and you haven't mastered unconditional love yet? What do you think, Lorraine?
Can't give what you don't have.
You can't give what you don't have. But guess what? Don't worry. You're all going to be made to feel very comfortable in your uncomfortableness for the rest of your life, because that's the majority of the population. You want to know what your first thought is in the morning. You decide before you go to sleep at night. Because if you don't, I woke up on the wrong side of the bed. No, you woke up with the wrong head. And understand, the terrorist, there's no terrorist in the world. That terrorist is in your head or laying beside you in bed. That's your terrorist. Those are the true terrorists. And understand something, and you get this. What a bunch of crap. I'm on TikTok today. I'll probably last for another hour. What a bunch of crap. Medical tyranny, media, government, and you all buy into it. I guarantee you can't help yourself but talk about something about them every day. When I talk about them, it's to teach people not to talk about them. Ignore them completely. You do know they ignore you. except for feeding off of you. Oh, you do know that you ignore your family until you need to feed off of them, until you have unconditional love. Did you get that?
Yes.
We create fear for our families, don't we? We create fear for ourselves. You know, everybody talks about the subconscious brain is a fearful brain. Mine is not. I mean, that's quite obvious. I don't come on here or talk like this to start trouble. If I don't talk like this, live like this, I will not have bliss. I will not have joy. I will not have harmony. I will not be able to move through and create amazing. I create amazing every day. And you know what amazing is? Staying connected to my breath, not getting personal about your stuff, not getting personal about my kids' stuff, not getting personal about Lori's. Unconditionally loving someone is also letting them figure things out. Unconditionally loving yourself is not buying into anything that doesn't vibrate at that level. Why do you walk into situations that are low vibrational? Because you're addicted to it. We talked about this yesterday, didn't we? And I think I proved it. Every one of you runs suffering programs, and you have to get your amount of suffering or you don't know that you're alive every day. Yesterday I said to people here, smile. And then I looked around and some people, I said, come on, smile. And then I looked around again. Come on, smile. I said it 3 times, didn't I? And some people gave me the virtual bird. You can take that and shove it, Daryl. I've been working on anger, okay, all right, and regret, okay, all my life. I'm not giving them up. I'm so invested. All you had to do is just love it, love you. You know, we talk about, I actually, on one of the posts yesterday, you can go back and see it if you like. Dr. Wolf, you can go to hell. You teach selfishness, and that's where you're going. So understand this. We all have a little bit of that in us. That if we are selfish enough to unconditionally love ourselves, see, if you observed yourself more than you observed anybody else, with unconditional love, you would go in and you would do graceful house cleaning. You would do deconstruction of beliefs and reconstruction of other beautiful beliefs. Where am I going with this? I'm going to tell you something. Do you know how many people are calling up all the time right now about their fungal problems? From vaginitis to sinusitis to ear problems to eczema to psoriasis to jock itch to toe fungus to cancer. Now, cancer is a fungus, but it's also a bacterial problem, and it's also a worm problem because there's a cancer parasite. Does everybody know that the cancer parasite that is with every cancer, you didn't swallow it, you grew it? Do you know how you grew it? The C in cancer stands for conflict, contamination, and corruption. The invisible creates the physical. Now, you can believe this or not believe this. 99% of the population has worms right now. If you're a fearful person, you have worms and fungus and bacteria. You can't have fungus without a parasite party. Do you understand? If you've got worms, oh, you're dead worm. Well, you got fungus and bad bacteria too. Oh no, you know. Okay, I've got a bacterial problem. No, you don't. You got a worm problem and a fungal problem, right? No, I've got a worm problem. I got a bacteria. No, it's called a parasite party. Now, how many worms are in this room? No, not in people. I'm going to tell you right now that out of this room, there's maybe only 2 people that do not have worms. That's it. 2. Lorraine will have worms even if she's got a great diet. Why? Because she nails herself on the cross all the time for her family. Do you think that nailing yourself on the cross is a low vibrational thing to do?
Yes.
Okay, is a worm low vibrational?
Yes.
Did she create an environment for worms?
Yes.
Did she create an environment to lose energy? So the lower your vibration, the less energy you have, the better chance you have in. Can you turn that down, please? That went too loud. The better chance you have of what? Bacterial problems, worm and fungal problems. Yes or no?
Yes.
And there's no such thing as virus problems. Because if you would have looked it up in the dictionary before you freaked out, oh, COVID, if you would have just looked it up, virus means poison in Greek. And I've never seen a poison jump even an inch. Never. Because a poison's, anyways. We will do a viral speech talk. I don't know how to do it because TikTok will cut me off again. But then guess what? Let them cut me off. TikTok people deserve it too. Tomorrow I'll go through the whole virus thing. How's that? And then we'll lose TikTok for another week. But that's it, guys. TikTok, you got to go to Facebook or Instagram because I just can't say anything, you know? So let's talk about this. You can have an organic diet. You can work out every day. And guess what? If you've got a terrorist mind, then you've got terrorists inside of you called bad bacteria, fungal, and worms. And guess what? They are there to clean up. Did you know that no matter what worm you have, it's saving your life? Did you know the bacteria, bad bacteria, are saving your life? But they can get out of hand, so that's why, you know, if you've got critical, acute situation, life-threatening, we do antibiotics. But if it's not acute, critical, life-threatening situation, I would never do antibiotics, but you go ahead and do them, okay? I'm just trying to tell you because they're the atomic bomb, right? You know, it's like this. We know that there's a terrorist, okay, and his name could be Bin something, and he lives in this town, so we're going to drop an atomic bomb on everyone else. That's antibiotics. We will get the terrorist, but we will annihilate everything else, and we're going to have to rebuild after that. Do you understand? So you got to really think this out. Oh, your child has a sniffle? Well, let us just use the atomic bomb. Do you understand? I don't want to say any more. That's amazing. I'm still on TikTok. Okay, so understand this. Environment dictates what lives there. We have an Airbnb that I would never live in. I would never live there. What, isn't it good enough for you, Daryl? No, it's not actually. I want a place that brings my vibration up. I will not, okay, accept less than what I deserve, which is everything. Thank you very much. Most of you will accept less in a relationship with yourself and everyone else. Yes or no? Yes. Most of you will accept less when you go to somebody's house and they serve food that will actually make you sick. You will eat it because you want their approval. And understand something. The food didn't cause the parasites and the bad bacteria and the worms. What did? Your disrespect of yourself. That low vibration is like a magnet. There's no way that we can clean the parasites out of the population right now because the parasite is actually their subconscious. The subconscious, okay, it runs the beliefs. And look at your life. If you look at your life, you can tell what your beliefs are. If you look at a person, you can tell what their beliefs are. Isn't it nice to just kick the shit out of yourself every day? Do you want me to, after we're done here, do you want me to tell who does it? I can tell everybody who's doing it. I mean, it sticks out like a sore thumb. Just look around. You can tell who kicks the crap out of themselves. So if you're going to kick the crap out of yourself, you're going to feel like crap. And what does crap grow? Worms, bacteria, and fungus. Now, treat yourself like a manure pile, and you will grow when a manure pile grows. Vibrate low, and it's off to the farm we go. And you better get that. I'm going to tell you, Dr. Wolf, I do 6 parasite cleanses a year. It's driving me nuts. I go, yeah, well, do you know why? No, why? Well, listen to yourself. I don't know why. Everything's a program. I use sarcasm. I use over-dramatization. Oh, wait. Nobody else does that, like the news, like the medical system, like the government. I'm just trying to unravel it and see if I can get you to unconditionally love yourself. I'm not trying to terrorize. Did I terrorize anybody yesterday? No. But what I did do is I pissed off 3 people here, and they were women, and I pissed them off greatly. Oh, they were pissed. Don't you tell me what I am. I wasn't. You showed us. You know what the thing is wouldn't it be great if we could be honest? Because guess what? Maybe it's not fair, because there are people in this room that had parents and that had teachers and peers that were very toxic. Now, I'm going to tell you something. Is that situation the fault of the person? No. Let me tell you something. We are all handed things here. And guess what? I'm going to tell you something right now. You know what they say? Everything is written. No, it's not. Nothing's written. A doctor could tell me that I've got 2 weeks to live, and guess what? I could live another 20, 40, 50 years. Because the doctor's only right if you become part of the majority, which is a statistic. How many here would like to be a statistic? To be a statistic, you have to act like the majority. To not be a statistic, act like the minority. And understand something. When you see someone and they've got anger, or they've got sadness, or depression, or anxiety, they're running a belief program. Don't take it personal. I take nothing personal anymore. I am not responsible for someone's personality or even how they treat me. Because you're getting in the... Okay, when you hang out with someone, are you hanging out with their personality? Or do they treat you like, oh, okay, I'm going to treat him badly or I'm going to treat her good? No, this is their personality. So we can't judge them for that. If anything, we love them anyway. But you can't do that unless you have unconditional love for yourself. If you had unconditional love for yourself, there's no cancer, there's no disease, there's no parasites, there's no fungus, there's no bad bacteria. Because people who love themselves honor themselves and say, I'm not going to eat that crap. I'm not going to take that crap. I'm not going to do it. You go to someone's house, hey, would you like to? No, I can't eat that. If I do, it makes me feel not good, but thank you anyway. What's wrong with saying that? And if that person says, well, I'm not going to have them over here again if they're not going to eat my food, then you got off the hook. You got off the hook. Because understand something. It's your thoughts that rot. It's your thought that's rot. That's what caused it first. Listen, if a person, I can tell you, I've been in the business of health for, not sickness, but health. We don't want sick people. We want healthy people to come to us, don't we? But if sick people come to us, we have to let the sick people know that they have sick thoughts. They're not sick like you're sick. No, we don't mean it like that. We mean that you have sick thoughts that you don't know about. And you don't know you have sick thoughts because you've had sick thoughts all your life because your parents had sick thoughts and the church or the school or the group you hung around with have sick thoughts. But you don't know it because you think that's as good as it gets. Let me tell you something. You don't have parasites and fungus, okay, and bad bacteria unless you're a manure pile. So the reality is this. Everybody goes, I do a parasite cleanse. I hope you know, guys, that doing daily cleansing tea, and this is not a sales pitch because I'm right, daily cleansing tea every day. Guess what? Let me ask you a question. If you do a parasite cleansing, are you good for life? No. If you do 6 of them, are you good for life? No. Okay. The reality is is it's keeping your vibration up. If your vibration's up, it decides what lives there. Environment is everything. What did Louis Pasteur say on his deathbed? The bug is nothing. The inner terrain is everything. God forgive me for what I have done. It's what he said on his deathbed. You can pay anybody to lie. Think about it. How many stores had antibacterial soap, which is made to kill your good bacteria?
Everywhere.
Everywhere. And guess what? Is the bacteria a virus?
No.
Well, then why did you use the bacterial soap? And don't say you didn't. I'll tell you, I hardly ever saw anyone. You know what Lori and I would do? We'd walk up and go, or pretend. We'd just go, yeah, well, when we could, but sometimes we couldn't get in, so we just pretended. I never ever used bacterial soap in my life, and I never will. I am not a moron. Okay? Okay, well, tell me that the majority of the population don't have moronic beliefs. Tell me that the majority of the population aren't fearful. Tell me that the majority of the population still believe that they get sick because of lack of drugs, chemotherapy, and radiation and surgery. Tell me. Tell me that the majority of the population feels that they get sick because of lack of doctor visits. Tell me. And understand something. The majority of the population actually believe that the world is a scary place to live. I haven't seen one thing that's scary, okay, except you guys, okay? That's it. I'm telling you right now, turn off your TV, turn off your radio, and turn your mind on to unconditional love for yourself. And you will rid yourself of parasites. But I'm going to tell you right now, we have people with the worst parasites in the world continually. Who do you think they're going to come to? Doc of Detox, thank you, whatever. Okay, so anyways, you get them on the daily cleansing tea, get them on black gold to put in their blender drinks, a teaspoon twice a day of the black gold in a berry drink, okay? Or it could be anything, whatever they want to make, blender drink. A teaspoon of that twice a day. Black diamond, just 1/16 to 1 inch of a teaspoon. 1/8 of a teaspoon, okay, in every quart of water, all right? And daily cleansing tea. You'll never have any parasites, you won't have bad bacteria, and you'll never have worms. You know what? Why is it, okay, look it. Why is it, now don't tell me that I'm wrong, or you could if you want, that's okay, but I'll prove I'm not. The reality is this, is 99% of all health practitioners, naturopathic doctors, I don't care who they are, yeah, you know what? I do a cleanse every 6 months, and it's a deep cleanse. What we do is we go to this organ, that organ, this organ, that organ, and you know, it takes a few weeks, but we clean the body. What? What? Are you like insane? So wait a minute, I want to get this right. So you're going to let the crap build up until you feel crappy, and then you're going to detoxify. That sounds like the medical system. Don't worry about it until it's broken. So I'm telling you, 99% of all healthcare is based on when you feel like crap, detoxify. Why wouldn't you want to create the perfect day on an emotional, nutritional, physical level and do that every day until it becomes robotic? You'll never have a worm. You'll never have bad bacteria taking you down. You'll never have viruses. Well, we might as well get kicked off of TikTok. Here we go. So the reality is, I really don't care. The reality is that we went through a whole 3 years, okay, of something that will decimate the world. First of all, does everybody know we talked about it yesterday, there is no such thing as a world crisis. How many people know that? There's no such thing as a world crisis. And guess what? Now we've got another one, right? Climate something. Don't say the other word. I'll be off here in a second. So, okay. And does anybody understand something? Okay, you ready for this? I need to say this because I realized this last night. Does anybody know what the cure for COVID was? It was the Putin shot. It was the Putin shot. You don't know the Putin shot? Well, soon as Putin declared war, okay, on Ukraine, okay, supposedly, okay, COVID went away. Why don't you go find out the very day? So listen, if you get sick, just get the Putin shot. Right, Lori? That's what we were talking about yesterday. It's, wow, look at how it matches. Done? Okay, I am so done. Did you ever just like watch like a television series and you just went, wow, this is like going nowhere and it's so crappy? That's the series that they do. And you know what? If we were the most intelligent species on the planet, okay, you'd think that we would have clued in that history repeats itself. You know, anybody with any brain should just go back, okay, 3,000 years and track, and you'd find out that the temperature around the world is exactly where it's supposed to be right now. What is wrong? You know what? I'm going to tell you something. We're not the most intelligent species in the universe, less on the planet. And understand something. Those parasites have created a vibration for you to create parasites. Whether you're going to believe this or not, the more worms you have, the more bacteria you have, the more viruses you have, the more fungus you have, the more that they are having an orgasm. Do you know how it feels to be able to hog tie 8 billion people? So let's talk about fungus, okay? Here's the deal. So, just know this, that we would not have a fungal problem if we did not have the medical system's greatest silver bullet. What is their silver bullet? Come on. Antibiotics is their claim to fame. They don't have, what other claim to fame do they have? And understand something. If you are in an acute, critical, life-threatening situation, I cannot do anything, and neither can anybody else. Antibiotics are the key, but they should not be pulled out unless that's the problem, unless that's the situation. Now, how many people out there do you think drink milk? How many people do you think eat cheese? How many people do you think eat yogurt? Okay. All right. How many people out there eat animal byproducts? How about farm fish?
Majority.
How about farm shrimp? How about farmed everything? You can't go to a restaurant and not get farm fish anymore, and you'll know if it's not because it'll say wild, and if they say nothing, they're not going to say farmed. Because with farm fish, you can squeeze it and the pus will come out and the worms will crawl out on every fish. And how many people eat raw fish? Sushi. Lots. And does everybody know that every piece of raw fish when you eat sushi has worms? You eat sushi, you got worms. That's it. Does everybody know that to eat fish, it cannot smell like fish? Did you ever go fishing? Yes. Did you ever catch a fish? Yes. It doesn't smell. When it smells like a fish, it's rotten. Okay. Now, here's the deal. Let's go to what I was trying to talk about. The reality is, does farm fish get antibiotics every day? Yes. Okay. Does all the animal products that aren't free range and organic get antibiotics every day? Yes. Okay. The byproducts of animal products would be the cheese, would be the yogurt, would be the milk, would be the ice cream. Did they get antibiotics every day? Okay. Right. Did the chickens that you bought the eggs that weren't organic and free range, did they get antibiotics every day? Yes. So when you say, and you start your business, have you had antibiotics in the last while? And they go, no. Say, do you eat any animal products or byproducts, okay, that aren't organic and free range? Well, of course, I eat Greek yogurt. I hear it's saving lives. Okay, how many people here, and don't you dare lie, put your hand up. Nobody can see you. Everybody else close your eyes. Okay? How many people here, when you went to buy yogurt, okay, you bought Greek yogurt because the advertising was so good and it's no different than any other yogurt? You know what? Yeah, one truthful person. Okay, all right. Okay, you get a prize. I don't know what it is, but I'll give it to you. Okay, all right? Okay, God, only one person with integrity. All right, but she's got sticky stool. I'm kidding. Okay, now, so here's the deal. So did you know that if you eat animal products or byproducts and you do it every day, that you took in a super high concentrated dose of antibiotics, the same that somebody would do in 10 days, over 30 days? If animal products and byproducts are big in your diet, you are taking in antibiotics to the point to destroy your health now. That wasn't like that 10 years ago. They went, oh my God, we just have to put more antibiotics in and we can destroy the immune system of everybody's gut. Now, bear with me. Bear with me here. So the reality is here, now let's just, okay, how many people know this is a stat? Okay, are you ready? 100 years ago, children ate 100 times less sugar per day.
Yes.
Children. Adults, well, you know, they're a lost cause. Let's just stick with children. Okay. So now we know this, that if you do antibiotics, and if you do sugar, and if you do, processed grains, because that's the big deal now, isn't it? Get as much processed grains into people. Here's the problem. Do you know what that means by processed grain? Well, for one thing, they do throw chemicals into the processed grain, okay? But what they do is they get rid of the hull. The hull has the minerals and the nutrients. The hull slows the sugar down from going into your bloodstream. So any type of processed, refined grains are exactly like sugar. So now we've got processed, okay, like pastas, all of this stuff. I'm not saying don't ever do it, but I'm trying to tell you what you're doing. You do whole grains, you don't do processed grains. That's what we have. Once you get rid of the hull, the sugar has no wall to slow it down, to have it come in properly. So you are whacking the hell out of your children. Children get fed worse food now than in the whole history of humankind. And it is stated, not by me, okay, but it is stated that if a child's 12 years old, it will not outlive its parents because of there's so much poisons coming in. Remember something. Now, 1 second. Let's not go there. We could go off in so many. The reality is this. The parents of the children that are 12 and younger right now, did they have a cleaner life, air, water, food? This is what I'm telling you. So they at least had a better start. You know, how you start your day, how you end your day, okay? How you started your life. For God's sakes, let me tell you something. Why don't you just do some stats? How many mothers are getting cesareans compared to only 30 years ago? Okay, so now we know 60% of all women are getting cesareans. Cesareans are the most done surgery on the planet. Second to that is the hysterectomy. Now the reality is here, and it's all because of what? The undermining of the large intestine, which is 85% of your immune system. You better write that down, because guess what? All you girls and guys, that every time that you feel pain in here, that's your good bacteria gone bad bacteria. That's the fungus gassing off. That's the worms pooping. Are you with me? So now, if you do animal products, if you do byproducts that have antibiotics in them, and you've already done a few rounds of antibiotics, you're in big trouble. So the reality is what happens is when you take an antibiotic or when you have this constant drip of antibiotics going into you, it's a drip. It's actually a drip line when you eat products with antibiotics. It's a drip line. Now, when you constantly do that, you're undermining your immune system, which is actually your bacteria, nothing else. You have 50 trillion good bacteria. You have 50 trillion cells. You have 50 trillion bacteria. And I'm not going to say good bacteria because guess what? Here's another stat. You're not going to like it. You're supposed to have 15% good, bad bacteria and 85% good bacteria. You ready for this? 90% of the population has the reverse. That's why I can tell you that a major part of the population is leaving the planet. These guys don't have to do anything anymore. The war is inside your large intestine. The war is your good bacteria gone bad. Now, hold on a second. This is like trying to put this all together. I will go and do the bowel chart, and it'll be more clear when we do that. But I wanted to sink this in your mind so that we can repeat things, okay? All right? So we already talked about the environment's everything. Most of you don't even know what a good bowel movement is like. Like every morning, I have my own routine because I'm a busy person throughout the day. But every morning, I have 3 bowel movements like this. I never had supper last night. Did I have supper last night, Lori? Okay. So I had 3 7-inch bowel movements this morning. And they were all just, they were ideal. Now, I did not eat supper last night. And what did I eat yesterday? I ate a cup of Lori's lentil soup. And what else did I have? I had about 60 ounces of carrot juice. And then I drank about 2 quarts of Black Diamond with hot water. That was my diet. Of course, I took some of my nutritional stuff. Okay, but I'm just trying to tell you. Now, where did I have 3 7-inch bowel movements that were like this? Where'd they come from? They floated. They were like amazing. And I feel amazing. Do you understand? So the reality is this. Now a person who eats 3 meals a day and they eat animal products. Okay, so understand. How many dead animals do you have to eat to get well? No, I just want you to get back to me. Like, do some research, get back to me. Okay, so I'm not telling you not to eat animal products, but you might want to think about how that animal was treated, beated. Yeah. Okay, so you might want to think about that because I'm not trying to, But the reality is then do your food combine properly? Because you can't take animal protein and a starch, okay? That's why your meat and potato man looks like he's ready to give birth. So maybe men do have children, okay? Because they look like they're going to, okay? But the reality is that with doing the drip line, I call it the drip line of antibiotics, when you're doing all the dairy products, when you're doing the ice cream, when you're doing all the animal products that you eat, the fish like we just talked about.
Grains that aren't organic.
Yeah, grains that aren't organic. So all of this is all compounding to go in and disturb the terrain. Okay, first of all, they're doing the same to you as they did to our soil. So guess what? Does anybody know what undermined the soil most? What?
Glyphosate, petrochemical fertilizer.
Let's forget about that part. No, they got rid of the humic fulvic that was in the soil. So the humic fulvic, that is the black diamond and the black gold I just told you to take, it's no longer in the soil for farming. And the humic fulvic, it gives you 70 micronutrients, and it goes in and sucks up all the infectious material. So, I mean, nothing works like humic fulvic in the world. Zeolite doesn't work like it. Charcoal doesn't work like it. You can't, psyllium doesn't work. Bentonite, none of it works like that.
It doesn't have the prebiotics.
No, it doesn't have the prebiotics either. So understand that when people start taking black gold in their blender drinks and they take the black diamond in their drinking water and they do the daily cleansing tea, all they have to do is just be patient and they are going to totally restore, okay, not just their large intestine, but they're going to restore their whole body because the black diamond goes into the brain cells, goes into the bloodstream and into the cells of everywhere else in the body, where the black gold takes care of the whole digestive tract and then creates a foundation for the good bacteria to become stronger. Let's get back to this. So anyway, so now I do a round of antibiotics because I need to save my life because I have an earache. I need to save my life because I have an eye infection. I need to save my life because I have a sinus problem. Yeah, okay, tell me, do doctors prescribe antibiotics for absolutely everything? Okay, all right. Okay, so 3 days ago I get a call. A gentleman has an infected toe. He's been on antibiotics for a month. He thinks, I said, okay, let me just say this, because he says, I'm feeling so sick. I don't know if I can keep doing this. It feels like it's killing me. I go, okay. So let's just try to understand here. So you're going to put something in your mouth at the other end of your body, and it's going to go down your digestive tract. It's going to blow up the good bacteria, and it's going to, when it does blow up the good bacteria, guess what it does? It will destroy the bad bacteria. Yes, it will. And it will actually mutate your good bacteria. So now your good bacteria is now going to become your bad bacteria, and you've weakened them. So what else does it do that is the worst? It takes the yeast that's in the large intestine and turns it into fungus. Some of you know it as candidiasis. So once it turns the yeast into fungus, guess what? Now what does fungus do? Okay, let's go back to him first. I said, so now you've been blowing up your large intestine, thinking what? That the antibiotics are going to go down into your toe? So here's the deal. Has everybody heard of autoimmune disease? Oh, wait a minute. That's every disease. But before you have autoimmune disease, what do you have? Metabolic dysfunction. Say it out loud.
Metabolic dysfunction.
That's every disease. Metabolic dysfunction means that your metabolism is screwed. Why is your metabolism screwed? Because of dairy, because of sugar, because of gluten, because of products without gluten.
Biodiversity.
Yeah. So well, we could keep going. The list is really long. Okay. All right. So here's the deal. So that is the fire to feed the fungus now. See, before you went in and dropped the atomic bomb like they did in Hiroshima, okay, you could handle some abusive diet. Now that you've blown things up, things bother you. Who was here? Yeah, I've had allergies all my life. No, you haven't. You've had what? I'm allergic to life. And you don't eat right. Emotionally, that person's allergic to life. Everything hurts her. Everything hurts him. And they don't eat right. The combination, what is that? Another crappy day. Okay, so now take the antibiotics. This is their job. Whether you want to believe it, guys, let me tell you something. You think about this. Now, I want you to think about this for 1 second. Why is it that they're always coming out with things that do miraculous things but kill us? Why don't they come out with miraculous things that save us? Does anybody understand the game that's going on here? Okay. No, it's not even about the not profitable. That's only the corporations. There's an evil entity on this planet, and every time that you suffer, you are feeding that entity. And that's what you do. So just know, every one of you that are miserable here, every one of you that have anxiety, every one of you that have depression, every one of you that are bitching all the time, they are getting off on it, and you're feeding them. Whether you believe it or not, Monsters, Inc., who saw it? Put your hand up. Monsters, Inc. was not a cartoon. Monster, Inc. is real. That all of the pain and suffering, why do you think there's so much pain and suffering in the world? There is nobody that needs to be in pain or suffering. And yes, there is a God, but God will not intervene because guess what? You have a brain. And your job is to rise and to feed your spirit and to become more so that you can move on to the next level. To the next level, I said. And that's the game. Don't give me this heaven and hell, and then when I die, I'll be with Jesus or I'll be with the devil. Right now, you are playing with the devil. If you don't look after your psychology, then you're going to screw up your biology, and that's it. Well, if I don't believe in the devil, then guess what? I'll probably go to hell. You know, we are so screwed up. I cannot even take it sometimes. People don't even think one iota. They just go and they blop it right out. Think about the things you say. From now on, when you say something, ask yourself, would the most intelligent species in the universe say that? Just say that to yourself. Would I act like that? Would I do that? Would I drink that? Would I eat that? Would I react like that? Okay, here we go. So, when you go into the woods and you see a tree that's dying, okay? It has drill bit predators, doesn't it? Eating holes through it, okay, because it's going to be returned right to the soil. Are you ready for this? Everything in life has a vibration. I have a vibration right now. Some of you like it and some of you don't. I can tell from your faces on your expression. You think I'm talking about you personally, and I'm not. No. Yeah, well, yeah, people take it personal. They take it personal. There's people taking shit personal right now in front of me. It's like crazy. Okay, so now they're probably, they are constipated. And guess what? They are constipated here, okay? Let me tell you something. When you can't let go on an emotional level, you cannot let go on a physical level. You're stiff because you're not flexible. Guys, go look in your Perfect Day Guide. It's all in there. It shows every organ, every muscle, every joint in the body, what actually emotional thing is going on to create that problem. We are emotional beings. Now, can I come back and get back on track? Because it's very difficult for me to stay there right now. Okay, so now, here's the deal. Remember in the woods? Well, let's just put it this way. I've got a fruit bowl. When the fruit goes bad, what happens? Can you tell me something? Fruit flies. Did you know that the fruit gives off a silent frequency, and fruit flies all around the world can hear this, and then they fly to the fruit? Did you know that? No, because that's BS. Okay, so here's what happens. When the fruit is no longer good to eat, the fruit flies there. That tells you that now it needs to be thrown out, and the fruit fly's job is to go in and eat it up and get rid of it. That was your signal. And the fruit fly was created by the environment. Oh, you're gonna love this. This is brilliance. Is created, not my brilliance, is created by the environment of the fruit being no longer having the vibration that if you ate it, that it would bring you up, it would bring you down. So now, here's the deal. Everything has a vibration, right? I just said that. So now, guess what? An organic apple, what would the vibration be? Pretty high, right?
Yes.
Okay, so, okay, now, what would the vibration be of a piece of meat?
Zero.
It's zero. But that doesn't mean that, you don't get things out of the meat.
Yeah.
But the reality is, we'll talk about this tomorrow, about blood typing, which we can only take to a certain degree. It's actually not a science. Okay, it is to a degree that, like, I'm a blood type A. I could eat animal product today like a piece of meat, but if I did it again tomorrow, it would knock me on my face. Now, if I'm an O type, I can eat it every day because the hydrochloric acid is so much stronger in me. And guess what? The A type will have symptoms right away when they don't eat right. The O type will say, I never felt a thing, and go in and find a melon-sized tumor in their body. It doesn't mean because you can digest the animal product being meat better that you should eat more, okay? Use your canoodle, okay? Now, let's go back to our little story. You are gonna love this. This is where it all comes together for you. I said that everything has a vibration. I'm not gonna hang out and talk to somebody for a long time when they wanna kill themselves. I'm not gonna, because they're killing me. I'm not going to hang out with somebody who's totally depressed for a long time because they're going to depress me. Would you hang around with somebody that's happy and joyful longer than somebody who's depressed?
Absolutely.
Okay, so it's not about judgment. It's about protection. It's unconditional love for myself. And there's nothing that you should protect more than your vibration. I wouldn't do antibiotics if you paid me. And I'm allowed to say that. And I'm going to tell you something right now. I got bit by a mosquito when I was in the Panama jungle. Okay, I lived in the rainforest. And that's the last time I took antibiotics. And that was probably about 17 years ago. But I had to. Like it was a life-threatening situation. Okay? But the reality is I'm not going to take antibiotics. I'm going to let the fever go. I mean, think about it. Giving antibiotics to an infant? Oh my God, you just destroyed its whole immune system for life unless it knows somebody like me. Because you can restore it. Now we're gonna keep going here. So the reality is everything is vibration. Does anybody know where antibiotics sit on the vibrational scale? 100 below zero. Okay, are you ready for this? Well, why do you think they annihilate? They can annihilate bad things, but they annihilate everything good too. So the reality is when you take that vibration that's so low into the body, it takes the yeast and turns it into fungus. Does anybody know what that vibration does? It turns on the death vibe. You might want to write that down. Antibiotics turn on the death vibe, which means that they turn on and make yeast into fungus, and then the fungus starts to drill holes through your large intestine and even in your small intestine, but mainly in your large intestine. And guess what? That's what you call autoimmune disease. Because now you're a screen door in a submarine. Now you've got fecal particles going into your bloodstream. Now the worms, because the vibration's so low, they're actually created. The bad bacteria are created. The fungus is created. Did you get it? I hope you know what's going on here. So now it all gets to crawl. The worms crawl in, the worms crawl out. Remember that rhyme when we were younger? Shucks, I forgot my spoon. You know, I don't know. I got to look that up. But I remember that one just now. Okay? So the reality is, is that guess what? Only 1 out of 100 people do not have worms. That's why everybody's talking about worms. And did you notice they weren't talking about them pre-COVID as much? Why? Because there was enough fear created to cause people to go into anxiety. Anxiety causes the brain to burn up, right? Because it does. And then the brain shuts down because there is no such thing as depression. And when the brain shuts down, you go, what's wrong with you, Jenny? I don't know. I'm just depressed. And guess what? She burnt the computer. It's just a computer. So the computer has to shut down. So you shut down. So all you needed to do was rest. How many people know that there was a study done and only it was released about a year ago? I can't give you the exact date. But guess what? They did a major study on antidepressive meds and there's only one side effect, is thoughts of suicide. And that's it. So now they have to call up and after 1 week of being on antidepressants, they have to say, Mr. Jones, are you considering suicide? That's all you have to do. And of course he's going to go, no, I'm not. Because if he says he does, then the ambulance comes and then he goes to the psych ward. The whole thing's a setup. Okay, so now you've taken a very low vibration thing. I'm not telling you not to do it. If you have a life-threatening situation, you can turn this around. But as soon as you go in and obliterate, you better go in and regenerate and restore. And you got to know how to do that. That's just like how many women are getting cesareans now? I already told you, 60%. Now the reality is this: the scar tissue from that is going to grow 2 to 3 inch feeders on it. That's why I'm telling you, when you get the non-surgical done, and you do the non-surgical on a woman that's had this scar, you're going to be able to go in and those feeders, you're going to take those feeders apart, the scar tissue apart, and she is going to fall in love with you. She will be able to digest, assimilate, and detoxify without, and she will not feel pulling in here. And those feeders wrap around your ovaries, your bladder, they wrap around your small intestine, close off things. Oh, it's a mess. Woman with a cesarean or anybody that ever gets any surgery needs to see a Wolf non-surgical therapist as soon as they're healed to get rid of the scar tissue. I'm going to remind me about the scar tissue in a second. This is really important when I tell you this. You're going to see how that you are the most important body workers on the planet. How many people get surgery? How many people actually know how to get rid of the scar tissue? How many people know that the only thing that we call old age is scar tissue? The more scar tissue you have, the older you feel. If you had your flexibility and you had no physical blocks in your body and the calcium was still in your bones and you didn't have any scar tissue, you'd have perfect circulation. Did you hear me? Did you get this? Yes. Do you understand what you're getting taught here? You can get all the calcium back into their bones. I don't care where the scar tissue is in the body, whether it's in their brain or their pancreas or in their joints. We know how to reverse that. Why do you think we're so dangerous? Why do you think they attack me? And it doesn't matter if they do. I would attack me. You think about it. What happens if we have someone that, because it's a domino effect, right? You go from a limp to a cane to a walker to a wheelchair, and in between that, you're taking tons of drugs to bring down the pain. You're getting tons of surgery, and guess what? You've got a 1 in 2 chance of having heart disease, so that means you have a heart operation. You have a 1 in 2 chance of getting cancer, so now you've got surgery or chemo or radiation, and guess what? We stop it all. We stop it from happening, but we have to teach unconditional love. So now, remember what I said, you turned on these drill bit predators, and that's called Candida fungus. And that's why you got leaky brain. That's why you got leaky gut. Did you know that? Okay. All right, so now we've got the holes. They're drilled through. Now we got to repair them. But how are you going to repair them if you eat the average diet? And not even that. How are you going to repair them if you eat the average healthy diet? I eat healthy. Do you ever hear that one? I eat healthy. Really? You do? Wow. Okay, so one thing. Human beings are garbage cans. Step on their foot, I guarantee 9 out of 10, the mouth drops. And understand something. The actual consciousness is only 4 inches. Will it fit in my mouth? And am I addicted to it? And that's the way it is. And I am not putting people down, but people need to wake up. And there, now you know and you understand the cause of every autoimmune disease. I just gave it to you. There's the cause of every autoimmune disease. We will go through the bowel chart and we'll go through the digestive tract, and I will prove 100% that I am right. And if there's a doctor on here, physician, my number is 469-861-9454. I would love to do a live here, and if you want, you can come on and challenge me for everything I've said, and then see if you can banish me from the room. You know, it's one thing to say something about me because I'm so different. Okay? Put up or shut up. Let me tell you something. How many children are getting hurt right now? How many beautiful women, how many beautiful men are getting hurt right now and they don't even know it? When are we going to take a stand? Well, only when we stand out do we take a stand. Did you get that? Yes. And most of you will not stand out. All your life you said, I just want to stand out. But you're too scared to stand out, aren't you? Yes. That's right. That's it. But guess what? Until you have unconditional love, I don't care if you guys love me. I'm going to love you anyway. Because you're going to walk away, you know what? I got his message, but I don't like him. That's okay. I drug Lori every night, and she thinks she's she's in love with me. All right, so scar tissue, yeah. So just so you know, the all-American diet and the I Eat Good diet creates more inflammation, right? What is we are an inflammation nation. What does inflammation create? Scar tissue, right? Because adhesions, right? Because it needs to wall things off. You want to know something? What people think is old age, okay? How about this one? And everybody says it. I can't stand growing old. Growing old is so awful. Yeah. You can be young until you leave. We are going to give you all the keys. I'm telling you right now, I've been doing this for 40 years now. I've always offered a money-back guarantee on my consults and on the first treatment, that we will do more in that first treatment than anybody else has ever done. You're going to be able to do the same thing. We are the Holy Grail of healing, and this is not me with an ego. Anybody can do this. I have information that anybody can do. I need you to get that. Every one of you have the capabilities of standing out, of speaking up, of speaking different. When I talk to you for the rest of this week, and when you take the non-surgical course with Sage, and then you take the pelvic restoration course, open your mouth. Talk from your solar plexus and your core. Well,
when you worked on my sinuses there, for how long did you, what's that? A minute?
come sit with me. Come sit with me. I'm lonely.
You're lonely, are you?
I am, yes,
Okay.
very lonely.
So in Barrie, when you worked on my sinuses, I couldn't breathe through my nose, or I could, one side or the other side, but never both together.
1 minute each side.
Yes.
1 minute each side. And understand something, everyone. The people that are here on these platforms, you better get this. You've been taught to run away from pain. So I go in and I create, and it was painful.
It was painful.
And I created pain for her for 1 minute. Now, have I given you for that 1 minute weeks of relief already?
That was a month ago, and I'm still breathing through my nose.
Understand
Fine.
something. When you go in, I want you to connect to your lion heart breath, 6 seconds in, 7 seconds out. When we work on you, I want you to moan.
Release it.
And when you listen to people moaning, you will hear a 5-year-old girl, a 12-year-old boy, a 6-month-old baby. You will hear the issues in the tissues, the trauma that has been captivated in here. Everybody on these platforms, you don't get it.
And I
You
can
don't get it.
testify to
You
that.
go ahead. You keep on going and getting chiropractic. It can save lives, yes. But guess what? Do they get rid of your scar tissue? No. Does acupuncture? Does a massage therapist that went to school for 2 years do it? No. I am not putting these people down. But guess what? There is nobody like us. We give a money-back guarantee. None of these people do. They say, look, would you like to sign up for like 12 or 6 months worth? Why would you do that? Let me tell you, when you get the calcium back into the bones and you take and you pull the fibrin apart, the scar tissue, we're not eliminating anything. We're bringing in the light, the blood, and the lymph. And instantaneously, before your eyes, it turns right back into connective tissue. So you need to understand, when you get surgery, that's a trauma drama. Your cells, every cell has a brain, has a heart, has a spine, has every organ that you do, and it has emotion. And as soon as that knife comes in, and okay, every cell in that area goes into panic, and adrenaline and histamine and cortisol goes there, and that creates all this inflammation, crystallization, and calcification from the bones near the area to buffer down the inflammation, and then we get all this fibrin so that it doesn't spread the inflammation. So that's where the scar tissue comes from. People that get surgery need more surgery, needs more drugs. If anybody gets surgery, I'll give them a money-back guarantee. Let me tell you something. I will give anybody a money-back guarantee that we will create a miracle every time somebody walks in here, whether they got a cane, whether they got a walker. They're told that they need to have hip replacement. If they go to hip replacement, I will refund their money on that first treatment because they're not going. We have had nobody go for hip replacement, knee replacement, ankle replacement, neck surgery, wrist surgery for carpal tunnel syndrome. I don't know. This is not me pitching. I don't have a clinic right now. I don't make any money off all my practitioners, but still people come at me.
I've experienced what you're talking about, so I know you're not.
They come at me, and they come at me for this because you are not allowed to promise what can't be promised. Well, guess what? We can promise it because it can be done. You need to understand that any government-approved training, okay, is twisted and watered down. Don't get me wrong, but how many people know that When I was young, after I went and became a colon therapist, I went and I became a registered massage therapist. I was only 3 months becoming a registered massage therapist after spending all that money. I said, I'll never do this again. Then what I did is I made up Wolf Non-Surgical. I made it up. And guess what? I got a call from the Registered Massage Therapy Board, and they said that I was going to get into trouble and I could even be taken to court if I teach this course. I took my diploma, and I said, and guess what, guys? I already know something. In your budget, you only have enough money to go after the pedophiles. You couldn't even come after me if you wanted. So understand something. Any organization that's tied to the government will threaten you. And then they want, will I ask you to pay me dues ever? Nothing. Will I keep on giving you all my information free? Will I keep on doing trainings for you free for the rest of my life? Yes. You will never pay a due to me. Not 1 penny will you pay. Understand that. And this is why they can't touch me. They can come after me as much as they want, continually. But understand something. The system's broken. You can massage, you can do Swedish massage and any hand massage until the cows come home. It doesn't work. When you start using the elbow, and we show you our technique and how we do it, you'll take a fibroid that is the size of a small tangerine, and you will actually reduce it by 30% in 30 minutes to 40 minutes. Is that enough for you? You'll take a person that's limping and just got their cane maybe 3 months ago, because I don't want to say 3 years ago. I could do that, but you're not trained yet and good enough. But they will not leave with that cane. Did you get this? You don't have to worry about getting busy. You're going to get busy. Because guess what? They've went to everyone else. Because now they're going to come to the whack jobs. Because we're the whack jobs, right? Because you didn't go to school for 2 years. You didn't go to school for 2 years. You went to a training for 21 days. You have no right to practice. Well, guess what? What we want them to do is I want every different therapy out there. We are in, give us a call and you can come on down here. You can do your therapy first and then we'll do our therapy and we'll see what the difference is. And understand, this is not to make people look bad. We are willing, okay, first of all, go and pay for your 2 years for massage school and find out how much money and how much debt you're going to be in. You know, you can actually take your first course here and go and you're making $150 to $200 right away because it's so easy to get that, because guess what? You're giving a money back guarantee and the rest of them aren't. Then the next thing is, guess what? You'll have this all paid off. And guess what? You'll take your next course. You'll take 3 of these courses. Then you'll become a master practitioner. And guess what? The second and third course, we give you a discount. We take 20% off the second and third. Now you're a master practitioner. We're not trying to suck you into anything. Do you know how good you are by the time you take your second and third? I'll let you come up and talk about it. I'll let you talk about it. You take your second, you take your third. There's no one out there that can touch you. Your confidence is through the roof. Now, once you do that, now you can help train with us. You help train with us 3 times. You become a master trainer. Whether you believe it or not, we have a whole formula that you can get your doctorate in natural medicine. And at the end of it, you will maybe owe maybe 5, 10 grand. You will not be in debt because you're making money all the way through. Remember something, you can come here for 21 days and take the whole life coach and take the Wolf Non-Surgical, and you can go out there and you can make as much money as you want, because all you have to do is let everybody just make the rounds out there and then come to you. And the other thing is, dress up your home somewhere and keep your office in your home. Do not let the bylaw people hound you. And do you know bylaws aren't laws? They're just rules made by fools. So I've always kept my clinic in my house. You get off my property and out of my house. All right? So understand that. Remember something. They are not your friends. Remember something. Unless you're going to conform to the norm, okay? Go ahead.
I just want to say that the work that was done on me has changed my life. When he did my face, it also had trickling from my ear. I had problems with my ear that I tried to clean up. And after he did that minute on each side.
We only did her sinuses and we fixed
it.
her ears. How many people know that, guess what? Are you ready for this? If we open up your occiput, your eyesight's better right away. These are called your upper eyes back here. If we go in and we do where the brainstem goes in the middle, okay, we can increase your flow by 30% to your brain. Do you get this? The sacrum, which is called the sacred bone of energy that sits at the bottom of your spine, most women, it's blocked. And if you go in there, you open up the circulation to the spinal cord by 30%. Wait, how many women here are taking the pelvic restoration? Listen, if you're not doing it, you better rethink things. You rethink things.
That's an amazing course.
You have just unleashed yourself. So you take that into your business. It's only 3 days, but you've done the whole life coach, right? So you got the nutritional, you got the emotional, you got the psychological down. Are we moving pretty quick here for you? Are you learning anything? Did you learn more yesterday than you've learned in health in your whole life?
Absolutely.
I know you did.
Yeah.
Now the reality is this, okay? So now you do 8 days of that. Now you're gonna go and do 12 days of non-surgical, and then the icing on the cake for women is the 3 days. There is no practitioner within 200 miles of you that can do what you do. I've been stating this for the last 25 years.
We're in a unique.
You're in a unique spot. Remember something. I don't care what people think about me. They're not thinking, most of them. I do not care what the government is trying to do to me. Let me tell you, I do one thing only, and what's that? Protect my vibration. I believe in God Almighty. I don't believe in the God that most people believe in, so just let's put that to the side. And the reality is I know that I am an infinite spirit, and I am not going to be trapped in this body. And I would be trapped in this body if I lived like the majority. And the reality, I know if I bring my vibration up high enough, I get to go on to the next game. Does anybody know that this is just a PlayStation? And it's called the universe. And there are many different dimensions. There are millions of different games, billions, trillions going on in the universe. But guess what? The only game that you know is the end of the world as we know it. And I'm not playing the game. Let everybody go nuts. Let the fire burn. I mean, you know what? There's more fires in Canada in the whole history of this country. And they weren't done accidentally. The reality is it's none of my business, because guess what? I am going to burn a path to people's hearts. All you have to do is love yourself and tell yourself you deserve the best when your family does not. Because from now on, we got to make sure that they're all on Do Not Disturb. Okay? No, it wasn't. Okay? We'll get it later. Every one of them have to be, because I don't want to keep doing this. Okay, guys? So understand this. Your family is going to take whatever they're given. Let me tell you something. Freedom is not given. It's earned. And I earn it every day. I earn my freedom by speaking out loud, by speaking to everybody knows what I demand for myself. So, and guess what? The terrorists aren't going to come after me, and they're going to try, but it won't work. And then guess what? The parasites won't come because I won't allow it in my terrain. Just think how many parasites you have in your family. Think about how many parasite friends you have. So understand, if you have a parasite friend, they're always going to have parasites. Do you understand? And I'm not downing people. People are unconscious of this. All I'm trying to do is use sarcasm, drama, humor. I'm trying to be something or do something different. How am I going to get your attention? How am I going to crack your coconut? I have to do something different. I got to get you to understand that every government-approved organization is contaminated. I will never contaminate this. I'm not looking for followers. Okay?
Yes.
Yeah, only leaders. That's it. And that's how you don't contaminate this. And you allow people to take everything you have and they can say that it's theirs. Because I need you to take all my 40 years of work and I need you to take it and make it yours. Don't give me any credit. You need to rename it. I'm not kidding. Oh, we have to struggle, do we? I have to make you struggle? Don't you dare touch any of my stuff. It's copyrighted. I'll sue your asses. Are you like crazy? No, that's what they do on purpose so that we don't share information. You take my information, you tweak it, you make it yours, you make it your surfboard, and you'll be able to ride the highest wave. Don't try to change my information though for at least 1 year. Then when you start going, wow, he did a good job, but I can do better, then change it. Just try to get in there, find your groove, really get your strength, and then start playing around. Okay? It's like when people buy a business, they go and they redo the whole thing, and then they go bankrupt. The reason why they bought the business is because it was doing good. So at least take my information, take all the training, make it yours. I don't care. Don't give me credit. But when you're doing the non-surgical, call it Wolf Non-Surgical. Why? Because people search it out, don't they? They search it out from all over the world. So don't be changing too many names, but do tweak it because there is a genius inside of you that is not me. You will be able to take my work and make it better. I'm telling you. I fail you if you can't make my work better. I have taken the work of other people and I believe that I've made it better. So how arrogant of me to believe that you're not going to. I need you to go out there and go, yeah, he was pretty good, but guess what? I've already figured some stuff out that he didn't figure out. And you run with that. And you make sure that you can be better than me. Be stronger than me. Fall in love with yourself more than me. Fall in love with the world more than me. Fall in love with the universe like the universe loves you. You think about that as you're having a pee break. Thanks for joining us. God bless.